Hello, it is 1:22, and believe it or not, it's September 19th of 2024. I was just thinking, somebody smoking some weed. Okay, that's not normal around here, but okay, I'm not mad at it. Carry on, carry on, enjoy. So I was just thinking about something, and as I'm walking around, sometimes I will as I'm walking around, sometimes I will, ask myself random questions or whatever, because I think everybody does that, but I do it aloud just so that people know that they're not alone. Seriously, like, is she over there talking to herself? Is she asking herself random questions and answering them in reference to her life? Absolutely, I am. Just like you do, right? So I said to myself, I was like, do you feel a way about Um, do you feel a way about people of color, especially, knowing that you're going through what you're going through, knowing that you have reached out for help and nobody helping? And then on top of that, people knowing that I've been blacklisted, knowing that I don't have options because of that blacklisting, knowing that it wasn't just people that don't look like me, but also people who look like me that contributed to that blacklisting. Some was because I spoke up at work. Some, it was because they just didn't like me and they didn't want to see me flourish, right? So, do you feel a way about that? So, I had to ask myself because I've been picking up on little messages here and there, and people really want me to be angry about stuff that you know what, you look really cute today. I love what you're wearing. Is she just a blush? And I love it. It's just so cute. So, back to what I was talking about. Looks so cute. I love it. Simplicity is everything. I tell you. But anyway, let me get past this place so that you guys can hear me. Okay. So there's a lot of people who want me to be angry, and I'm like, well, why do you want me to be angry? That's First of all, I wouldn't wish anger or anything like that, resentment, any of that shit on anybody, because those are things that really do hurt you, harm you, cause problems in your life, cause problems in your with your psyche, psychological development, emotional health, those kinds of things, which is one of the reasons why people do these things. Thank you. Let me get across the street, you guys. Which is one of the reasons why people do things like that, to affect your livelihood, because they want you to feel like really lower vibrational. They need you to feel like that. It gives them some type of whatever, you know what I'm saying? So, sorry, you guys, I'm like right around, I have to walk around these mover people. So, the question was, how do I feel about what has happened and in what fashion it has happened? Oh my God, she's not on the leash? Is it a girl? She's not on the leash. Look how good she's sitting. Oh my God, she doesn't need a leash. She's so cute. What's her name?
Abril. In Spanish.
Oh my God, she's so cute. You could tell she's very happy. Good job. Good job. Have a good one. Hello.
How you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. He's handsome. So anyway, I was sitting up there thinking, and I said, well, you're very transparent with yourself. So if you did feel away, you would have been let yourself know, girl, you feel away. I'm like, but I don't feel away. But what I do want to do is make sure that nobody else feels what I have felt. And so in doing that, I try to make sure, or ensuring that, I try to make sure that I'm doing something toward making right whatever has been wrong that I have some control over. So if it's, maybe a communication issue or something like that, I will do my part in trying to make sure that the communication is, you know, improved in some kind of way, or opening the door for somebody to come to me and talk to me about whatever has ailed them in the past that has something to do with me. Even if I didn't really be, if I wasn't the one who inflicted that type of pain, if I'm involved in some kind of way and they know that I have the ability to, you know, open up my emotional space to sympathize with them, then I will do that. And I think that people are not used to seeing that. They're not used to seeing it. And because they're not used to seeing it, it has caused a lot of friction in how people actually receive me, you know? So I don't know. It's a different type of situation for me. But the way that I see it, in addition to the fact that I'm obviously being, you know, followed and stalked by a cult, right? So that part, you know what I mean? So we have to always factor that in. That's been going on since the 80s, though, you guys. It's not something new. Um, you know, that's why I don't really, I pay it mine, but I don't pay it mine, you know, because, you know, it's part of my lifestyle. You know, now that I understand and this and that, I'm like, oh, that's connected to this. Got it. All right. Now we can move forward, you know. But to answer the long question, no, I don't feel a way, but I wish that there were people who were more open to seeking out resolve, like how I am, as opposed to being responsible for any type of toxic energy, static, bullshit. You know, people take pride in that. And I personally, I can't relate to it. I don't even know what that's like. I don't know what that feels like to want to be a part of some shit that will negatively affect somebody else's life. I don't even want to. And if it means that I have to stand alone by myself every single day for the rest of my life, okay, from this life, from the last life to the next life, and therefore, you know, I'm okay with that because I don't agree with wanting to be a part of someone's downfall or someone's life challenge. I don't want to be the villain. I'm not interested in being the villain. And that's the thing. So I don't even have to say, I was like, you know what? There you go. Just sum it on up. Sum it on up. There you go. You know, so I'm like, no, I don't want to be the villain. I'm not interested in that. There's nothing about that that makes me feel fulfilled. There's nothing about that that makes me happy. There's nothing about that that gives me any kind of, what can I say? I don't know. That gives me any kind of, it doesn't motivate me in any kind of way. It's kind of like, well, why would I want to be a part of that when I know damn well I wouldn't want anybody doing that to me, you know? So, anyway, so to answer the question, I don't feel a way about everything, but have I taken notice of what has happened and how people have handled it? And, you know, even with people shunning me away, treating me like shit, this is before anything. This is before vlogging. This is before anything. I think that people want to use the fact that I started vlogging for like a year and a half. I don't vlog anymore, really, you know, but I think that people want to use that as an excuse to justify why they treat me the way that they treat me, right? And I'm kind of like, I'm speaking up for myself. And if something had happened to you and everybody was standing against you, I would want you to speak up for yourself as well. And I would never mistreat you or downplay you or treat you like shit because I see you doing what it is that is best for you, which is bringing light to what's being done to you, because you know you don't deserve it. In fact, the more that I see you, the more that I hear you, the more that I'm in your company, I can see you damn sure don't deserve that shit. Matter of fact, let me reevaluate my shit and make sure, no, I don't deserve it either, matter of fact. You know what I'm saying? So that's really what's going on here. I'm going to take a pause. All right, I had to take a moment. I just wanted to take a pause. So I can't remember where I left off at. I just wanted to kind of take in the day anyway. And, nice. It's so nice. I'm not even where I was trying to go, to be honest. It's so pretty outside. I swear to God, I had to just stop and sit in the middle of all of this beautifulness. It's so pretty. It really is. And I'm a nature girl. I like to be in where the trees and stuff are. Ironically, I don't care for like insects and stuff like that, but baby, but give me like a cool ass, like some trees and flowers and a big garden or something. Oh Lord, I am at peace for sure. Anyway, so I think I made my point anyway, but I will say that I remember, kind of I'll try to pick up on the last really strong thought that I had, which was mainly that I didn't want to be the villain. I don't want to learn from my villains. I don't want to be associated with that, but I understand why it would be necessary for my growth. I understand that now, and I didn't understand that before, you know. But I see too much room for deception, too much room for, someone to act like they're for you, but they're not, while they're trying to teach you something, but learning from you, while they're trying to, and it's like, okay, it's like both sides of the coin is what I'm picking up. And I'm just kind of like, I don't really play with people's lives like that. I never have been that type of person. I don't play with people's lives. I don't play with people's time. I don't play with people's money. And I damn sure don't play with people's families. I've always been a very respectful person. I don't do anything to anybody that I wouldn't want done to me. And that's how I live my life. I've always been that way. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. But what I do see is that, people are looking for excuses to make an enemy out of me, and or to put me in some tattletellers category, whistleblowers category, when the reality is, if you hadn't have done the shit to somebody who didn't deserve the shit to begin with, we wouldn't even be in that situation. I think at some point I'll be speaking to the points of what happened. Let me reword that. Give me a second, you guys, because I'm a little distracted by my surroundings. Give me a second. At some point, I'll be speaking on what happened to me. There we go. In the workplace, before I was forced into taking a really long break from being employed. And then I ended up getting another job, and that job literally lasted like 2 weeks, because I was like, listen, what I'm not about to do is I'm not about to be in here doing this with these kids. It was like, 17, 18-year-old kids. And I was like, okay, you gotta have, that's where I learned that, yes, you may have to do what you have to do, but still have a standard in reference to how you're doing what you're doing. You going back to work? Okay, cool. You know what type of jobs you qualify for. Don't just take anything, because guess what? That's how you get stuck there. That's how you get in a situation where you take just any opportunity. That's how your ass gets stuck there. That's how you end up you're forced to take that position. You're forced to have to work around these people that don't care for you. You don't care for them. Nobody's compatible professionally, emotionally, or on any other level. Any conversations that they have, you can't relate to, because you're so much, you're so far advanced. I've dealt with ageism, sexism. I've dealt with a lot of different things in the workplace. And when I speak up on it, and that doesn't mean formally, it doesn't have to be formally, a letter to HR or reaching out to, a mediator or something like that. It doesn't have to be to that extent, to really be honest. it could literally just you being the person who is the bigger person enough to go to someone who is childish as shit at the job and say, listen, you did this and this and this, and it deeply offended me, and I just wanted to let you know that that's what this tension is between us. I want to continue to work with you on an amicable basis, but I need you to understand how I operate, and I don't operate in that type of energy with people, right? So just having a short talk like that with someone just to kind of clear the air and let them know. People are so ignorant, they won't even take that. They'll immediately, gather people against you in the workplace. They'll immediately start to, like really mob at you, or mob on you in the workplace, to where you're forced to quit. And then it becomes this game where who lasts the longest and who has the better relationships and who has the most connection to upper management and who has pulled in the company and who is, and it's kind of like, how about you just grow up? You feel what I'm saying? How about you actually just take that experience and say, you know what? I respect how she did that, or I respect how he did that, and say, you know what? Maybe I do need to reevaluate how I do things. Maybe I do need to reevaluate, how I move at work, right? Maybe I am, a little bit of a bully. Maybe I do need to kind of fall back when it comes to that energy or not, because usually when something happens, I ain't gonna lie to you guys, listen, when that happens, sometimes you meet your match. Your match just it didn't look like it was gonna be your match. You thought this was gonna be somebody that you could just get over on easily, and you're like, oh yeah, they'll be out of here in a week. In some cases, some people actually do that. They place those little bets and shit like that. Oh, we'll have them out of here in, X amount of time. And it's really messed up because you don't know what that person's situation is. I know personally, my situation, I needed my job and I enjoyed what I did and I was really good at it. And on top of that, I had years of experience building up to get to that point. So for someone to come in and do that and then to find out that they're connected to some other shit, that bothered me. And so the first thing I tried to do was be the bigger person and keep everything professional. I went to the person and let them know it was all a whole, step-by-step situation. The first step was I went to the person and let them know, this is what you have been doing to me that has been, really, it's been deeply offensive to me, and this is why I don't talk to you. Okay, can we move forward and, start again? Okay, great. I don't really give too many people second and third chances. So for me, that's really growth, believe it or not. Okay. And so it goes from there. The person continues to do it. So then you talk to them again. Listen, you see how that just happened? Now we have an example, a real life, real time example of what you've been doing and why this is, it's becoming problematic for me, So then the person continues to do it. So now you have to speak to your supervisor. You speak to your supervisor, your upper management, or whoever is whoever is the head of your department. You say, listen, I'm having some issues here, and I would like to have someone from upper management possibly mediate this so that we can have a better working relationship. Just so that you're aware, we've already had 2 other conversations in reference to this, so that, we don't have to find ourselves here, but unfortunately there's been no resolve, and here we are, right? So then from there, you find the same shit is happening even after you've had do you know what I'm saying? So then imagine being blacklisted because you're looking for resolve on your job when you're actually considered a higher position than that person in the first place. That person has just been with that company for the longer period of time. So that has been an experience that I've had, and it's been really, really messed up because it's not the first one, but it was the worst one. And so I went from, having my apartment to all of a sudden people trying to break into my apartment, then to try to, now I'm, I've requested a transfer to another part of the company. I went to another division. It was great, loved it. Next thing you know, I'm seeing people from the last position come into the new division and start spoiling the well. People telling lies on me, all kinds of things. Next thing you know, I just say, you know what, forget it. I reached out to my supervisor because there were way too many issues that accompanied even the slander, and I decided that I was going to leave the company. And it broke my heart because I didn't want to. I really enjoyed my position and I admired the company for many years, especially working in that particular division in that industry. As a visual merchandiser, that is hand in hand. So you'll never really catch me talking about which company it is. It's not really a big deal. That part is not a big deal because I don't necessarily allow people and the way that they decide that they choose to conduct themselves at the job. I don't necessarily allow that to take on the whole form of what I feel for the company. I don't do that because I know that sometimes it's just the case of having a few bad apples, in the mix, and it can be quite challenging. So for many people, not just people that were on my level, but at a corporate level, because now we're talking about possible lawsuits. We're talking about, complaints and things like that. Now we've got to send somebody in to try and mediate and try to resolve this situation. Can we move these people in different directions? Can we give somebody a position that might, where they don't have to work, so closely together? Are these two people valuable enough to be making those kinds of corporate moves, right? So it's crazy, and they did find that I was valuable enough. I knew that I had value, and that person who kept bothering me, they knew that I had value too, and they did not like that. And so I found that there's more of that has been happening over and over and over again, and it has just really gotten on my damn nerves. Have you ever just literally been minding your business in life and it comes out that hold on, you guys, I'm actually getting ready to I got my little water and stuff. I'm about to find my way. And then you minding your business in life, and then here comes somebody messing with you, and you're like, why would you come over here messing with me? Like, why would you do that? Like, what is it about me that told you that it was cool for you to bring that bullshit over here? You get what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck are you? What's your fucking problem? Like you get to that point sometimes, and so and that's where I've been at for a while, and it's not okay because what I do see is I see that people have deliberately contributed to me being in a situation where the people who could gloat and talk shit and have some form of dominion over me or see me in my situation and laugh at me and this and that, they contribute to all of that. People are contributing to that on a daily basis. They don't care that I don't deserve that. They don't care that I did what I was supposed to do and what I had to do. Now, if I would have went into the damn job, throwing shit and acting a goddamn fool, then it'd have been something different. Oh my God, she's so aggressive and she's unprofessional. And okay, well, we tried to do this the right way and the professional way. What exactly, because I was in a position where I had people throwing things at me and sabotaging my work. You know what I'm saying? Like I was dealing with some shit. You feel what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, well, if I'm speaking on this and I'm asking for someone to intervene so that we can find some form of resolve, then why do we have an issue here? Oh, I get it. You expect for me to just take that abuse and not say anything about that. despite the fact that it's affecting me and indirectly affecting my children. No, we're not going to be able to do that. So the way that I operate is, if you don't want me to to make any type of efforts to find a resolve independently, then do your part in making sure that we don't even have those types of issues. That's how I look at it, you know? So it was a blessing in disguise, though, because I'm actually really happy that I'm able to move forward. But I do feel a way about that part because I have applied for several different jobs. I have even gone to the city hall where I'm at, asking for different resources, exploring different resources, um, working with different housing specialists, you know, offering my services, offering volunteer services around the city in exchange for, just work experience and, just to have something to do, being able to volunteer at local nonprofits or, you know, um, recreational centers and things like that. Like, I've already done all those things. Whatever I can do to keep myself busy, that's my style. Like, I like to stay busy. But I've noticed that certain things have happened that have kind of forced me to stand still, and but the problem with that is that whoever is intervening on that level is also partially responsible for the false rumors of me not trying or me being lazy or me not, wanting to work or not wanting to progress, or even in some cases lying to people and saying that I'm lost or that I don't know what to do with my life or something. And I'm like, honey, do you know who you talking to? Like, this is child, listen, she is not that type. I'm not going to spend the rest of my life trying to explain that to you or prove that to you, but the reality is that no, that's not my style. Obviously, if I'm sitting like this and I'm sitting still like this, it's because I have to. And I've still been able to make some pretty smooth moves, in reference to my own personal brand. So I'm not even too, I don't feel too bad about it, to be honest. I just feel like I've been heavily delayed for some odd reason, and I'd like to know what that reason is. So anyway, moving forward, disappointment. Do I feel disappointed in who all may be involved or has been involved in what I've been going through? Yes, I do. I most definitely do. And it is what it is. And I'm not a follower. So, and that's some of the main issues that we face. See, this is the shit I be talking about. So this is a space that I normally sit at so I can do my work or, just kind of chill out or whatever. People do things like this, they'll leave. You see that? It's a little piece of cheese, as they like to call me, a rat. So I really wish that people wouldn't do things like that. It's not necessary. You know, it's not necessary at all. In fact, it's a waste of your efforts. I'm going to go ahead and push that onto the ground. You know, you leave little crumbs. You get crumbs. I don't even want your crumbs. Keep that. I'm going to leave that right there. So anyway, you guys, that's pretty much what's been bothering me. That's the only thing that bothers me is knowing that people willingly contributed to a situation just so that they could see me um, at a down point or at a downturn in my life. You know what I'm saying? All in all in the name of some kind of revenge, when it's kind of like, interesting. So I'm learning this. So if I, even in the most decent and mature way, try to retaliate against you, or push, that's not the right word, push back against what it is that you are doing to me, right? Not playing the victim, just telling it like it is, because the reality is that I haven't done anything to you, yet you keep coming after me, whether it's in the workplace or whatever. So that's the dynamic, right? So I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, so any pushback from my end would be, that's considered some form of a violation in which you feel that you have grounds to come after me, when in fact you are the reason that I had to push back in the first place, because you were trying to, basically come for me. So I'm just tripping off that. I'm like, wow, this is what the type of world that we're living in now. That bothers me. That irritates me a little bit, because I'm like, I don't like that. So, because I wasn't raised that way, and that's not the way I operate. But I understand that, we all are raised differently. We all have different ways that we operate in society and within our family units as well. Personal relationships, business relationships, whatever the case is. We all have a way. We have our own set of ethics in which we abide by. And so I'm just peeping the simple fact that it's like, well, people don't necessarily look at mine as being decent, even though the way that I operate is the way everybody should operate. I operate in fairness. You know what I'm saying? Give me a second. I got to grab my charger, you guys. Just letting my charger. I have this cute little portable charger, and I plug that up, and then I plug my phone into the portable charger so we can charge it at the same time. Sometimes it works a little slower, but sometimes it doesn't. Anyway, so that's mainly it, you guys. I'm out getting this fresh air, which is so well needed, and I'm getting ready to go back. I gotta go and clean out my car today, and I also need to gather some. I need to get some cute little tacks or whatever, so that I can adjust some of my little fabrics and stuff like that I have in there. So we shall see. I also need to do a load of laundry, so I'll probably get around to doing that too, today or tomorrow. To be honest, I'm waiting for this week to pass so that I can do what I need to do. I have some other things that are really important to me, and none of the shit that I'm talking about is going to hinder that. I promise you. So that's just what it's going to be, and that's how it's going to be. And a majority of the things that I do are going to operate in that same energy as I move forward. And I think that's one of the reasons why I find it so necessary to speak about what it is that's going on right now, and what has gone on, so that I can kind of like move past it, and then we can just kind of figure out, what else is going on in life. You feel me? I prefer it that way. That's just how I see it, you know? Oh, you know what else happened today? I met with this young lady, and she and we had an exchange, probably, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks ago, maybe something like that. And she left something behind during that exchange. And I've been doing what I needed to do at the gym, and I just haven't been around. And I've been thinking about it, going back and forth, like how I want to, put that back in her hands. And I was able to do that. I was so happy that the Most High gave me that little space and time. It was perfect timing, too. It truly was. It was perfect timing. I was like, oh my goodness, it's you. Okay, cool. That's what's up. That gave me the little opportunity to do my little thing. It was cute. It was a cute little moment or whatever. I had to give her some advice on some auntie shit because I'm like, girl, listen now. You got a good job, young lady. You gotta be careful with this shit now. You gotta be careful and be mindful, okay? So, but when I thought about it, that's what made me literally think about when I said that to her, that's what made me really think about like how my own have responded to me going through what it is that I'm going through. It's been very challenging to see. We expect it from other people. We expect it from other people. We don't expect it from, people that look like us, but that's the reality is it be like that sometimes. It really is. It be like that. And I'm old school, and I was raised by, one of them old school people that, we have good hearts and we do right by people. You know what I'm saying? So it's a little difficult when you're dealing with a generation of people who you don't know if they share the same principles or not. It's very difficult because you don't know how to communicate with them because you don't know if they're necessarily on the same wavelength, if you get my drift. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, so I'm happy that me and her found our way to each other. I did not know that that was her car. I see her car all the time. I did not know that that was her. Now that I've seen her in her car, I'm like, oh, well now, see, because I could have just went and slid it right in her door or whatever, and she'd have came back and it just been like whatever. But the reality is that she and I kind of needed to have that exchange for a moment. You know, she needed to kind of understand who I am as a person, and she needed to know that there are still some of us that are very quite decent people out here. But you have to be careful because everybody doesn't share that. Everybody doesn't operate in that same capacity. And one slip up like that could have caused a great deal of havoc if if it had landed in the wrong hands. So some people, they don't care about, they don't have a conscience. They just be out here operating, doing whatever. They don't care, you know. So anyway, we got that out of the way. And another thing that I'm going to have to do is I have to reach out to some other people in reference to my kids because I haven't been able to speak to my children, and I feel a way about that. I think that there's some interference there. Um, it's been tough. It's been quite tough, and I've been handling it with as much decency and patience as possible. But it's been a lot of unnecessary shit going on. A lot of unnecessary shit going on. So that's that on that, guys. I'm just kind of giving y'all an update on how I've been feeling today. I will continue to do that. I saw that somebody had put on Twitter. I guess they had found that that I had a page and I was doing these kinds of audio and videos and things like that. And somebody, oh so subtly suggested that I should go and find somebody to talk about what I've been talking about, and this and that. And I said, honestly, I'm okay with the vulnerable side of myself being seen and heard and critiqued and the whole nine. I'm okay with that. A lot of us, we avoid that kind of courage, and we find ourselves questioning ourselves way too often because we don't know what to think, we don't know how to act, we don't know what to say, if it's okay to say it, if it's not. How about you just be yourself and just be ready for whatever the fuck people have to say about you? If you put it out there, they're going to critique it. So if you know If you don't want to be critiqued, then go ahead and keep it all bottled in, and then one day it explodes, or you explode, and then you're like, oh, I should have just, explored my feelings or talked about my feelings at some point. Some people don't want to do that because they're so afraid that, oh, enemies are gonna, grab a hold of my vulnerabilities. That's how you know who your enemies are. Have you not recognized that in just the way that humanity interacts with one another? You know who your enemies are by how they play on what they think your weaknesses are. This is why doing personal work is so important every single day, you know? So I'll leave you guys with that, and um, we're going to talk more about doing that inner work and that shadow work stuff too, because y'all know I'm still working on that project. I'll talk to you later. Bye.